going to come on up and introduce our speaker.
Should I bring my own bottle?
No,
Yeah, right.
From the cemetery.
I first became aware of Partners in Education through Dennis Johns, who's asked us to sign up for mock interviews. And Dennis and I have done this, as well as Kathy Scroggs. Anybody else do mock interviews at high school?
I did in Seattle.
Okay, hey. And Chris Baxter, thank you. I've gone on to spend a little bit more time mentoring some of these high school kids. And I was thinking this morning, how many remember their first job? The first job isn't the one that you're doing now. It's a stepping stone job. And one of the things that we help with this program, where we mentor kids on how to get that first job. And when you get the first job, how to keep it, how to make yourself a situation where you can move up that ladder, and how do you interview, how do you write your resume, how do you write your cover letter, and all these things that I thoroughly enjoy working with my kids every couple of times a year. So anyway, Erika is a product of Santa Barbara. She went to City College. She went on to south of us, and came back to work with Partners in Education, moving up to help our kids, those that need it the most. So Erika's going to show us and tell us all about Partners.
Let me just share my screen and then I will get started. All right, so as Joanne said, my name is Erika Terrazas. I grew up here in Santa Barbara, and I actually have experienced everything in that this organization has to offer. When I was in 3rd grade, I received my first computer advert from Computers for Families under Partners in Education. And so that's where Partners in Education started to change my life. And just being supported by the program, and my parents feeling supported by getting low-cost internet. So it's just been a really awesome pathway. And the last experience I received from Partners was gaining a job readiness training in high school, and then getting an internship at Community West Bank, where the doors opened up for me, which was amazing. If you probably met me in senior year, I wouldn't have been able to talk to you. I was very shy, and I couldn't sit in front of a stage and talk. And so it's just a lot of experiences that I've been able to have, thanks to a lot of supporters, a lot of volunteers, and just people in the community who want to help students in Santa Barbara and especially in this community. So Partners in Education is a nonprofit. We are administered by the County Education Office, and we have a couple of services. So we have volunteer coordination and events, TK through 12. We offer free computers and tech support and online safety trainings for all grades. And since the pandemic, we have been supporting anyone in need, anybody who needs a device, anybody who needs online training, we offer it to them. Paid job readiness training and internships. So right now with COVID, we had to pause a little bit, but we are now back and offering a lot of internships to students across the county, also an expansion we made since the pandemic. And we have business and community engagement with schools. And this is my favorite program, because this is the program where I work very closely with a lot of volunteers who are very committed, like Joanne. And so again, this program is open to students, to high school students across the entire county. And we offer 8 weeks of personalized career coaching, and that covers resumes and cover letters, job search, networking, mock interviews, and financial literacy, and so much more. The students are in small groups from between 3 to 6 students, and they meet with a career coach every week for the 8 weeks, and they do independent study, but then they come and talk to their career coach, and they provide them with advice based on their career interest. And then they get $150 once they finish this 8 weeks of training. And let's see. For some reason this froze. So this is just some data I wanted to show you. As I mentioned, we did expand into North County. So we are seeing a lot of students coming from the North area. And we've been in Santa Barbara since the first year I did the program is when it launched the previous session. And so it's been 10 years that we've served students in Santa Barbara, the city of Santa Barbara. And so now expanding it, we're seeing that there's a big need across the county-wide. And we have our amazing career coach team that provide the individual support. Again, they do weekly workshop presentations. They help with the resume. They review the resume. So the students submit them, and our career coaches are the ones that are reviewing the resumes and providing direct feedback to the students. And providing mentoring and guidance through the prompts, and ensuring that students get the opportunity to ask questions, because sometimes if you do the independent study, you might not be thinking about certain questions. So career coaches help prompt those questions. And the volunteer commitment is 8 weeks, 1 to 2 hours per week on Zoom. We do have one option for mock interviews, which is in person or hybrid, depending on the students and depending on the career coach, what the career coach wants. And then 1 hour workshop and time to review assignments, and then just encourage discussions and boost the confidence of the student, because that's mostly what's important. Is you're boosting their confidence, you're helping them get through this this training and helping them prepare for a potential job in the future. So the step 2 is a paid internship. So anybody who completes the job readiness training is eligible for a paid internship. So it's the placement is based on the student career interest, and they get up to 80 hours of the internship at a minimum wage, right now 15 an hour. And we pay for the cost and for more than half of the cost. And then the business contributes $800 flat fee for the 80 hours. And we do all the payroll, so the organization doesn't have to add them to their payroll, doesn't have to worry about workers' comp. We handle all of that, that back end stuff. And right now we are offering internships in person, hybrid or remote, depending on what the business has to offer. And then the students are applying for the job. So the business would need to do an interview to ensure that the students are right fit for your organization. We just don't want to place any student. We want to ensure that it matches. And these are the placements that have happened. And in the last 6 months, so after COVID, or I guess we're still in the pandemic, but after the big surges, we're now picking up, and the businesses are taking in students. Just some that you may recognize is Cottage Health, even our Santa Barbara County Education Office, Pension Mark, just a couple. I can list all of them, but these are businesses in South County. But then also as our expansion started, we're also serving in North County. So City of Santa Maria has been one of the organizations that had just onboarded, and they took in 2 interns, and they actually offer them jobs afterwards. So they're kind of prepping their own employees, and which is amazing. So if you're ever interested or know anybody who wants to hire a student, they gain 80 hours of office support, at a fraction of the cost, 800, if you do the math, 800 divided by 80 hours. We manage the whole internship, and we check in with the student, ensure that they're communicating, because we know that's important. And sometimes students forget to do that, or even like their communication style, like emails, we try to help them to ensure that they are communicating the best way. And then the organization again picks the student. So we don't want to make that choice for them. And oftentimes there's 3 students who are applying for one job. And sometimes the business says, I'll take 3 of them. And that's where our heart is really happy, because we know that they're really good candidates, and that they'll have an awesome experience. And the business doesn't have to do any of that paperwork, like all that payroll. We do payroll every time we onboard a student. It takes like 2 weeks to just like get coordinated with all of that. And so we handle all of that, and the business just like says, I'll hire you, and then let's select the date to start, and then we start. So I think that's a plus. And I'm gonna play a video of a student who did the job readiness. She has not yet, oh, I guess that's not gonna work. Well, this is the story of Ashley. Ashley completed the job readiness training when this was 2020. So we had just shifted into a virtual setting. Typically it was in person. And so once we shifted into a virtual setting, she was one of our first North County students, and she really enjoyed the experience. And one of the things that she said in the video is that told businesses, hire us, because how are we going to get experience if nobody hires us? So that was one thing that stood out. And again, just so much valuable experience for both the business and the student. I just remembering back of when I was doing my internship at the bank, I was like, what is this? What's corporate world? And you can't do this here. And so just learning a lot of how the office works. And then I thought I was going to go into business. That's what I wanted to do. And when I was there, I didn't like being in an office where I didn't talk to people. I didn't communicate so much with people from the outside. And so I decided that business accounting wasn't for me, at least I'm not that setting. And I wanted to explore something different. So then it helped me realize what I wanted to do for the future, or at least what pathway I shouldn't take. And so I did stick with business, but I decided to go with business management and explore other pathways. And then now I'm in nonprofit, which I use a lot of the skills I learned at the bank. And it's pretty cool that I can still talk about it and say, oh yeah, I learned that at the bank. I know how to do this because of the bank. And I was 17, 18 years old. So definitely an experience that has followed me throughout these last 10 years. So now we're going into Computers for Families. So as I mentioned earlier, Computers for Families offers online safety trainings to anyone in the community. Right now we have about 40 people joining us weekly. We have two trainings, one in Spanish and one in English. So when we are having the trainings in Spanish, we can answer just questions in Spanish, and families feel comfortable raising their hand and saying, can you explain this better? We have a range of people from that know technology, from not knowing how to create an email to somebody who already has this information and likes to contribute to share with what they've experienced with others. And we provide devices, refurbished devices. So right now we have a lot of Chromebooks, laptops and desktops, and even some iPads. Again, they are refurbished, so they are older models. And so sometimes we do have to trade them out a couple of times, but families or individuals just come to us and say, this is what I need. Can you do this for us? And we say, yes, we got you. Come and pick up your device. And then we're offering bilingual support to anybody who comes to us. So if they have questions about how to set up an email, we do one-on-one coaching, so we can spend time with them and show them how to create an email, or how to go through a system that the school has put in place for their students, and so that they don't have to do it on their own and they don't have to wonder, like we can walk them through it. And so we've distributed more than 1,500 devices in the last year, and made more than 3,600 support calls to anyone in need. Our computer distribution also expands into North County. So this is just a breakdown of the places that we're serving right now. And just a lot of North County, but Santa Barbara continues to distribute a lot of devices, even though schools are providing iPads to students. We're seeing that there's still a need for either a larger screen, or even when high school students are graduating, that they have to get back their device and they can't take it with them. And volunteer coordination and events. So right now we are virtual and in person. We have tutoring, we have classroom buddies, we have guest speakers. We just piloted a hybrid career day with Santa Barbara Unified School District. And so we did 2 webinar style career talks, and then we were in person at the 4 different junior highs. And there was a small group of volunteers who talked about their career path, and it turned out to be a great event. We tried different things. We are now scheduled for Carpinteria. And so we're trying to schedule, they only want virtual. So it's gonna be a week for volunteers speaking out to the students. And we hope to have 1 more career day on our plate. And so hoping to serve a district in North County. And but our guest speaking continues. So we get a lot of requests from all over the county of, this is who I want to hear from, and can you get us a speaker? And so if you're interested, please let me know about that, because we would love to hear about the different pathways. Even if it's not a pathway, even if you want to talk about challenges you have overcome, we have that for you. There's a lot of teachers that want to hear your story and what took you where you're at. And it doesn't matter like what pathway you're in, they just want to hear your story, and it helps motivate students. And we have mock interviews and any other requests that teachers come to us and say, I think I need this for my classroom, and we brainstorm with them and say, okay, let's see if we can get you this. And so you can get involved by simply visiting our website and signing up as a guest speaker. The guest speaker one is I think the easiest one to get involved. It doesn't require a lot of engagement. You just say, I want to guest speak. This is what I will guest speak on. And then we place you. As for our other opportunities, they do require some background checks and TB tests for more of a commitment. In summary, we have more than 350,000 volunteer hours across the county. We've distributed more than 13,000 computers, and we have served more than 893. We're just going on our spring cycle. And so we're onboarding about 80 students this round. And so this number is gonna go up high, but we've served them with a job readiness and internships. And I think we have some time for questions. I think I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Do you always have enough career coaches, or do you always need more? And then if you do, what's the process of training a career coach?
Yes, so we always, as we've expanded, we've been needing more and more career coaches. So we started with 6 career coaches, then it was easier to get them. We do screen them very well and ensure that they're a good match for the students, meaning that they like to work with high school students and they want to be there. But now we need about 13 career coaches. So right now we have 8 confirmed for this spring cycle. And we're always reaching out to our volunteer pool. We have a huge volunteer pool, but again, it's a commitment. You have to commit to the 8 weeks because the students are counting on you to seeing you on a weekly basis. Unless, of course, something happens and you can't come, we kind of put ourselves in your place just to ensure they see a similar face. But it is a lot of recruitment to career coaches. And one of the things I've been trying in the last year is going back to our alumni. So like my brother was also part of this program and I was like, you have to do this program. You have to help students like somebody helped you. And so he was a career coach the last year. And the students really connected with him because they see somebody who went through the same program and that person is teaching them. So that was one of the strategies we tried last year. But we do interviews. Once you get into our volunteer pool, then we talk to you, we see your interest, and then we hold a training before the actual workshops begin. Yes.
So if you were interested in coaching, but you don't actually know how to write a resume yourself, do you teach, you provide kind of that background so that you can actually help the kid?
Yeah, so we have a document where like it provides you with tips, and we do provide the students with a resume template that we have gotten from other community members that's their background and they know like these are the resumes we like, and so we provide them with those templates, but we also have kind of a guidelines for you to discuss rather than like saying like this is the way that you should write it. This is how I did it for my job, and this is kind of what we're not looking for. So if you have hired employees in the past, like you tell the students, this is something I would not hire you for. And so rather than saying like, you should put this on your resume, it's like, this is something you should not put in your resume. So rather than doing the work for them, you're helping them kind of bring out their strengths and bring out what they have to bring to the table. And then also like one of the things is, grammar and like all of those things, that's what you're helping them kind of go through, and even building their skills. I mean, they're in high school, like they probably don't know like what skills they have to offer, or like they don't know yet. And so you're helping them list those out in words, because they might, I like PowerPoint, but that's a skill that they can put on their resume. They just don't know it yet. Go ahead.
You were talking about the paid internship program, and being here today, you're talking to a number of business owners and professionals and so forth. So you're connecting with a lot of different industries and so forth. You've got a huge volunteer pool. What other ways do you guys reach out to connect with business so that you guys have a broad spectrum of industries that you have opportunities to offer paid internship programs to?
So can you repeat the question for the Zoomer? Or just say it.
Oh, okay. So the question was, what other ways do we engage new businesses who want to?
What other outreach avenues do you guys pursue other than speaking with like Rotary clubs or through your volunteer pool where you're connected to a lot of different businesses?
Yeah, so other outreach avenues for new businesses to hire interns are kind of like all over. Right now, we do cold calls, so we do have interns that are like calling businesses and telling them. We're sending out flyers to our businesses that from our current volunteer pools. But the biggest thing is word of mouth and connections with other people. So even if you don't want to hire a student, or your organization can't take a student, you telling somebody else about the program might aid us in having somebody secure, or us securing an intern post-site. So it's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of partnerships. We just built an internship placements committee in the last year. I've been leading this committee. And so right now it's a group of 4 people. So the Santa Maria Chamber of Commerce is one of the leads. And in North County is the Santa Barbara County Education North County Liaison. And they have a lot of community members. So a lot of the placements we've been able to make in North County is thanks to the connections we've made up there. And then here in South County, we just have 10 years of a lot of businesses who have onboarded students. So they tell other businesses about what they've done with the student or their experience. And so that's how we are able to get more businesses. But it's definitely what grabs the business is like hearing directly from the student and saying like, it worked, like this, it was beneficial for our organization and it was beneficial for the student, because you're not only gaining that, 80 hours experience, you might be gaining an employee. There's a lot of businesses who I still talk to the students and they're like, oh yeah, I'm still working here. I'm like, great, that's awesome. And so that's what we want. We want businesses to be preparing for the workforce, because a lot of students are leaving Santa Barbara. They don't want to stay here because either they can't find a job or it's not in their career path or interest. So rather than you're helping them kind of build that and keeping them in our community. We want them to apply, but they come back to us. Go ahead.
So I'm interested in the internship program. There's 2 things that I think of. One is to be able to talk to somebody in your shop to see if what we have to offer would be appropriate. And second, if it is, then what is the process? Is there a form to fill out, or how do you do it?
Yeah, so the process is simply having a meeting with us, just ensuring that you have the correct information. We do the payroll. You do need to do a live scan because you are working with the student directly one-on-one, supervising them. And then we just need to know that you have California labor laws in your office and any COVID safety guidelines if you're having them in person. And then you, once you're ready, then you interview them, and that's simply the process. So I think the biggest hurdle for any business is getting through the live scan and creating, and it's just going into the place and just putting in your information, and then your job description. So you tell us if in the meeting we have, you tell us, this is what I want the student to do. We're writing it for you and we're creating the job description for you. You just need to tell us what you're looking for.
Learned a lot, and hopefully